Well, this week's weekly tip is going to focus on 3 ways you can win more listings with Real Scout and the recent enhancement we've gone through the platform. So let's talk about the first way. Third is my favorite, so stay tuned till the end because I think that's my favorite. But let's start with number one. Number one is market alerts. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through each of these 3 things. And I also want to thank Susanna from our Vineland office for allowing me to use her account for the demo because I can see real data. But let's go here. So I'm going to move myself over here. Okay, so let's go with first one. On the left, you'll see alerts. I want to walk you through market activity alerts. Traditionally, Real Scout's been known for serving buyers with listing alerts. I'm not going to spend time on that because I think I want to share with you 3 things that will move the needle for you to win more listings in this market. Okay, so market activity alerts. So you can click on dashboard, go there. I want to go ahead and click on create new alerts. Okay, and market activity simply draws on activity in Rail Scout that you can surface to your clients. Okay, you can search by city, zip, neighborhood, school district, or draw a custom area on the map. Okay, and I live in North Penn School District, so if I type in North Penn, it comes up with the senior high school. If I pick that, there's only one high school, it draws on the map. Okay, that's the area. You could do that for your client, but let me show you the extreme possibility of even drawing on the map. Okay, so let's just say I want to draw on the map because this client is a high maintenance client, which is the test, and that is Rajiv actually in this case. So I want to just kind of draw that. That's where they want to live, and it's a custom area. And I just want to send what's happening in this area to my client at some level of cadence, okay? You can put price if you want. As you can see, it's optional for the purposes of this. I'm just going to simply say preview market alert. And it's going to ask me to name the area. I'm going to say, since this client is, I'm doing this for Rajiv, Rajiv's desirable market area. Okay, let's just call it that, and that's what it's going to say. It'll say this. So this will be displayed to clients. Your market update for Rajiv's desirable market area. So maybe you say, and if you draw a custom map like that, putting the client's name is good because that's what's going to appear in the subject line. See that? That's the subject line. Okay. And now you look on the right. Move myself on the left now. Look on the right. It's going to show you wherever it's red, that means the market's a little hot there. There's a lot of activity versus the greens, but this is what's going to go to your client. Okay. So first, you got to have the client in Real Scout, right? So I've already pre-added myself. So done. Now you got to pick the cadence. Do you want to send it monthly, quarterly? So you have to evaluate how often you're sending, what you're sending to this client. So let's just say I want to do they're not actively looking, but I want to move the needle. If they're thinking of listing their house, move the needle. So I want to do maybe a monthly on this, okay? I could do send now, and it's automatically sent now and every month thereafter, okay? So I'm going to just go ahead and save that. But let me show you this report. It shows you the area. In this case, top viewed listings in that area, shows the listings, recently sold, recently listed and updated properties. There's obviously several because the area was a little large in this case, obviously. And that's the report for market activity alerts, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and just save that to the client, and you're done, you know, for that client. So especially if you customize it, they have more inclination to open it, right? So that's tactic number one, market activity alerts to move the needle with clients that are maybe thinking about selling and you're not maybe sending an item of value, okay? So it's the first way to win listings. Let's talk about the second way, okay? Second is home value alerts. Now this is new with Real Scout, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and, again, you can click the dashboard and it shows you as you set up more people on home value alerts, you can track the total value of people getting the alerts, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to go ahead and click create new alert. You can click it here or right down here as well. So I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to select the client, same client in this case, and I want to add their home, and this is the home I use normally for my testing in my neighborhood. There. Now, I would, once you have your default set up, you could use this, but I'm going to customize and preview the alerts. I want to show you what this looks like. Okay, create home value alert. And when you do this, this is by default what it shows, okay? It has two sets of valuations. Adam, which is again, home value provider, and it gives you the valuation and a range. That's by default. It also gives the Zillow's estimate. Now, we have our own feelings about Zillow, but you and I know your clients are looking at Zillow, so you might as well offer that as one of the valuations. And it does give a little disclaimer, contact agent. That's by default. However, you see some settings here that are valuable. So let's just say I want to show estimate valuation or not show it, as an example. If I click that button, there we go. It'll only show the range, as a matter of fact. So if I were to do that and just say save and update preview, now it's only showing the range because I hid the valuation. So you could do those things. The other thing you could do, you could also put your own valuation if you wanted. So if I wanted to do a valuation on this, let's just say, and then to 800,000. And if I did that and had save and update preview, you will now see at the top, price opinion by your name, in this case Susanna, on April 25th. You could do those customizations if you wanted. I'm going to simply turn this guy on here again, turn this guy on, take this off in this case, but you're welcome to do it. And once you do that, save and update preview, and it's set to be sent. But let me show you one more thing. Customize email. Again, you only do this. You have the ability to, the subject line is 117 Hanover home value and neighborhood activity, okay? Understanding your home, this can be customizable, okay? So if you do that once, it goes. I'm not going to bother with it. Schedule monthly, next sent at April 25th. I'm going to say save and complete. And at this point, that home value alert has been created and you're done with this client and they're in your nurture. Okay, so we've done two things so far. Stay tuned for the third one. That's my favorite. Market value alerts, home value alerts, and now let's go to, if you have listings or if you don't have listings, you could do this. Under listing tools, test the market. Now the idea of this is if you're going into a listing presentation, you want to be able to show your client, among all the other things you present on a listing presentation, can you show them the buyers that are available in your system if they were to list their property? Again, it's a draw that most people aren't talking about. So let's just say you come to my house, or my test house in this case, 117 Hanover Avenue, to do a listing presentation. Yeah, you may have a Moxie presentation, you bring all that stuff, but imagine taking this additional sheet with you for listing presentations. And I'm going to pick 4, because that's really the neighborhood, 4, 2.5 price. Target price, I'm just going to sort of put 800,000. And you'll see this is not as relevant, but it's a conversation starter. Generate and preview report. So what it's going to do is it's going to look in Real Scout as to how many buyers are there in that criteria. Okay, so what it's telling me here, this is important, at a target price of 800,000, there are 122 buyers in the Real Scout system that have a search setup that matches their home. It's a conversation starter. It doesn't mean those are all active buyers. It doesn't mean they're the only buyers you have because it's only Real Scout. It's not the entire MLS or etc. But it's a great conversation starter. You're flipping the script and driving with data to build a story. Okay, and you can tell them, hey, if you increase, if you go in this range, you get more buyers. Again, it's a conversation starter. Now, and the cool part is you can click export as a PDF, and it comes as a one-pager like that, buyer demand report, and there's your branding as an agent. Now, there's several uses for this test the market. You can use it in a listing presentation. You could also do this every quarter for your sphere individually like that, because you simply enter an address and go and get this PDF. You can send that one-to-one email, or you can put it in a mailer and send it to their home. Several applications for test the market. And in my mind, that's a great way to use. We have several agents in our company that have tried this in their strategy and have won listings. So it is a tried and true strategy. 3 things we talked about in summary: market activity alerts, home value alerts, and test the market to win more listings. Hope that helps. Great day, everybody.